Hey there, creepers and geekers. Atari Creep here in the old Creep farm. It's customary cup of Joe. In this video, I wanted to go over, I guess, my thoughts and my brief history with the N64 and the Nintendo 64. I don't have much of a history with it. It's not much of a nostalgic piece to me, but I thought I'd give you my thoughts and show you my journey into this particular system. So let me get this camera set up and locked down, and we'll get started. So, let me start off by saying, not the biggest fan of the N64. My journey with it, in my opinion, is kind of interesting. And I'm going to try not to be long-winded about this, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I didn't pick one up until 2013. And I know a lot of you guys are like, wow, really? It took you that friggin' long? You're an idiot. But honestly, it just came out at the wrong time for me. I was an early adult and kind of filtering gaming to the side to start the whole family and career thing. And it was also at a time when cartridges were kind of obsolete. So at the time I was like, well, I'm not getting that thing. That thing's ancient technology. But for whatever the reason is, I just didn't have one when it was relevant. And I never picked one up since. And then sometime in 2013, I found this little page called the Gamer Geek Nation. Now, this starts my N64 journey. So I started posting on there, reading other posts, and I enjoyed the page quite a bit, and I still do. And then they posted a contest, and if I remember correctly, it was one of those, share this post and make a comment and subscribe, and you'll be in the running for winning this purple N64. And just the idea of having, first of all, it was cool looking. And two, it was a system that was new to me, so I figured I'd tread in some new waters. And it was free, So I figured, what the heck? What's the harm, So I entered, of course, for it. And right around that time, the best and the worst thing could have happened. DVR, the guy who started the page, messaged me personally and said, look, I noticed you've been on the page for a little while and you post quite a bit. And I enjoy your content, so why don't we just make you a content creator and an admin? And I thought about it for a few days, and I said, yeah, you know what, this should be fun. I'll do it. But unfortunately, that took me out of the running for the purple N64. So, again, the N64 thing went in the back of the brain. Now, I'm not going to lie, my girlfriend stayed in the running for it, but we didn't win it. And that's okay. So it just stayed there in the back burner in my skull, and every now and again, we'd have the same conversation, baby, I want an N64, and I was like, yeah, well, if we find one for the right price, we'll buy one, I wasn't super enthusiastic about it. And then one day, we were at one of our local thrift shops that we like to go to. I'm not going to give the name here, because it's kind of and I hate to do this, but it's a secret spot. I mean, I could buy Super Nintendo games there for $1 each. And I get controls there all the time, dirt cheap, and blah, blah, blah. So unfortunately, I'm going to be greedy with that one. And, because it's very slim pickings when they do have something. But long story short, try not to ramble as I always do. They just happen to have one there. And let me just hit this little pause button, and I'm going to input a picture of what it was. So I saw that, and it only really came with the power. And I plugged in, and it lit up, and it had the jumper pack in it. It didn't have it had the expansion pack. I'm still confused about that, guys. It had the big red covered one, not the one with the pink sticker on it that Nintendo gave you. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, $8, that's worth a gamble. If anything, for the the jumper pack. So I grabbed that sucker, and we brought it home, and my buddy, Mr. Paku, I'll put a link to his page underneath this. It's just starting up, and you better check it out, or I will haunt your nightmares. Said, hey, I have a controller, and I have AV cords for it, so I will give them to you. And with that, I traded him a few things too. And we met up at a place called Bookman's, where I purchased a game as well for it. I believe that was Diddy Kong. And he gave me that stuff, and he gave me a wrestling game. If I remember correctly, it was WCW WOW Revenge. And he says, here's your first game. Enjoy it. And he really wanted me to get into it because he's a big Nintendo geek, and I thought I would enjoy the system, and I do. So I brought that home, and it worked just fine. And so I started collecting games for it. Now, about a week later, I'm driving with my girlfriend and her daughter, bringing her back to her father's place. And on the side of the road, just as I'm leaving my housing complex, I see this thing.